What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing some battles in the Open Great League featuring Grafaiai, a Pokemon that released during the recent Team Rocket takeover event, and unfortunately is confined to just 12 kilometer eggs, so it's likely that most of you still haven't hatched this Pokemon and might not do so for another few months. So I'm sure you're all wondering, is this Pokemon actually any good? Is it worth trying to hatch this Pokemon? Well, I can tell you right now that this Pokemon is just pretty rubbish for the Open Great League. It has a really cool unique typing of Poison/Normal, however, that Normal subtyping feels like it does literally nothing for this Pokemon, as there just aren't many Pokemon that apply Ghost Fast Move Pressure in the meta currently. Realistically, it might be like for Alligator, which doesn't make a difference because Hydro Cannon pretty much one-shots you anyway. This Pokemon is very frail, and also maybe Galarian Corsola, but still an awkward matchup for you because you deal resisted poison damage with your charge moves, so it's still not really that ideal for us. Now, it does have access to Mud Slap, which is a great fast move, however, it is non-stab, and whilst this Pokemon is pretty attack weighted, it just doesn't feel like it hits as hard as maybe it should do, and it does also only have access to poison type charge moves, which are resisted by a lot of Pokemon in the current meta. Also, whilst I was building teams around this Pokemon, I was very concerned about Corviknight, the other new Pokemon that recently released, as it is very highly ranked on PvPoke and completely walls this Pokemon. However, I only saw it 2 times in the 12 sets I did with this Pokemon, so it's obviously just not that common yet. And speaking of, I did 12 sets with this Pokemon. Honestly, I was desperate to make this thing work. I used so many different teams. Unfortunately, most of them just didn't work out for me at all. I think I only had a single positive set in those 12 sets, so honestly this Pokemon really not worth building, but I will be showcasing some highlights from 2 of the teams that I used with this Pokemon. So with that being said, let's just get into the question of the day. What do you think is the most underwhelming Pokemon that has released in the past year in Pokemon Go? Let me know in the comment section down below, and with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Alright, so go into the first battle, leading Grafaiai into a Shadow Drapion, so a positive matchup for us. The opponent is choosing to stay in, taking super effective damage from these Mud Slaps. However, they will very easily outpace us to the Aqua Tail there. I'm going to go for 1 extra Mud Slap, throw on good timing, fire off the Poison Fang, which is going to be shielded by the opponent. And at this point, I am going to commit my shield as well. Just commit to a shield there, go for a full Mud Slap farm down. We are going to see a Kanto Marowak coming in, so we're going to swap, bank a charge move there, come in with the Galarian Moltres, and I'm happy to tank a charge move here because I really need to save a shield for the Shadow Cacturn in the back. Now the opponent comes in with a Azumarill. We're going to fire for an Ancient Power here, as I realize I'm not going to reach back-to-back Brave Birds, but unfortunately Ancient Power is not shielded. I can now full send a Brave Bird here, but the opponent is going to be respecting the damage using their final shield. They've also got a lot of energy, so what I'm going to do, come in with the Shadow Cacturn, go for 1 Sucker Punch, then swap out, throw the charge move on the CMP tie, Poison Fang hits for super effective damage, and now I can save my shield here. Ice Beam, actually going to be undercharged by the opponent. Nice play there, but it doesn't really matter. At this point, we can come in with the Shadow Cacturn, commit my shield here as the Azumarill will not make it to another charge move, go for the Sucker Punch farm down here, and I could have just thrown straight away, but I'm going to make sure I practice throwing on good timing, going for a Sucker Punch, going for the Trailblaze, getting the KO up against Azumarill, and I'm able to take that game. So GG Snowbone there, going up against fellow content creator Taffy Star, and again another Shadow Drapion in the lead, and again they're choosing to stay in and firing off an Aqua Tail, so this is fine with me. What I did realize is there were a few teams that were running like Shadow Drapion and Azumarill together, which Grafaiai does actually somewhat core break. However, it's actually not got a comfortable matchup up against Azumarill, at least not as comfortable as you might think. But the opponent's actually going to come in with a Galarian Corsola. Honestly, I've got no clue why I go for the Poison Fang here. We're now going to swap into Shadow Cacturn, and you can see, of course, I have debuffed their defense, but we are absolutely eating this thing alive here with those Sucker Punches. I very could have easily just banked the charge move there, then swapped in, and then still probably got the farm down anyways, and probably come out with more energy, because now, unfortunately, we're only going to reach 1 charge move. Trailblaze is going to grab the final shield from the opponent, but of course, all shields are down on my end too, and a Hydro Cannon resisted damage still gets the KO there. So we're going to come in with the Grafaiai. Basically, I'm hoping to force the opponent to just throw their energy, but they don't throw, they bank their energy, which is a smart play. However, I also bank the Poison Fang. We come in with Galarian Moltres, they fire off the Aqua Tail there, but I can just go straight for an Ancient Power. Opponent needed to reach back-to-back charge moves, and even then, I do believe Grafaiai does win CMP up against for Alligator anyways, so I'm able to take that game. So GG top over there into next battle, we see a Shadow Kanto Marowak in the lead. So I'm going to say swap into my Moltres and unfortunately met with a Dugong. I'm now going to go straight for the Brave Bird, throwing on CMP, and Brave Bird is going to be shielded by the opponent. So at this point, I definitely can't afford to shield this. The opponent fires off the Icy Wind. They actually probably, I'm guessing they undercharged that because it does not get the KO. And as a result, they can now very easily outpace me to the next charge move. We're going to shield. It is the Duron, which is absolutely fine. I'm now going to overfarm here, throwing just before they reach the next charge move. What I didn't want to do is throw it on CMP because that might tempt the opponent to shield and then go for another charge move. But unfortunately, it looks like we're just being triple hard counted here. I will at least reach a Dynamic Punch. Dynamic Punch going to hit for just single resisted damage there. But unfortunately, it's going to be game over. There's nothing we can do here. Fly will be taking out Grafaiai, and unfortunately, we do lose that game. But GG swap on there into next battle, another Shadow Kanto Marowak in the lead. So going to say swap into the Galarian Moltres, and this time met with another Ice type, but it's going to be a Alolan Sandshrew instead. So we are going to no shield the Ice Punch there. Going to fire off the Brave Bird at the last possible second. However, unfortunately, it is resisted damage. It doesn't grab a shield there, but it does put them into Mud Slap farm down range. So we're going to come back in with Grafaiai, go for the farm down. The opponent doesn't throw an Ice Punch there. They would have reached an Ice Punch, but now we're going to throw a Poison Fang on the CMP tie. Poison Fang is actually going to be shielded by the opponent, likely just because they have literally no clue what this Pokemon is, respecting the damage there just because they need to play it safe. But now we can come in with the Shadow Cactus and they are not swapping out, which means hopefully we can beat whatever's in the back. They go for a Rock Slide and it's going to be a Galarian Casola once again. So we go for the Trailblaze. Trailblaze is going to be no shielded. We can just commit to a full Sucker Punch farm down there. They don't even reach a charge move. One more Sucker Punch gets the KO and I'm able to take that game. So GG so far there into next battle, we see a Shadow Annihilate in the lead. So we are going to stay in this matchup initially here. The thing is, if they go for a Rage Fist, that will be double resisted. So this could be an Ice Punch, but I'm going to no shield anyways. And it is just the Rage Fist, which is very nice. I'm now going to fire off a Poison Fang here. And Poison Fang, again, going to be shielded by the opponent, likely just not knowing the moveset here. It is a Pokemon that most of you probably won't even have access to at the moment, so that's fine with me. We are going to shield as the opponent does fire off the charge move there, and they come in with a Azumarill Namek. A huge mistake here. We fire off the Brave Bird, which is absolutely fine here. I will reach another Brave Bird if I just commit to it, but I don't. Instead, I realize, well, I can throw an Ancient Power here before they throw a move, but that backfires hugely for me because I just give them extra farm. They don't need to shield, and still, I won't be able to go for a full Sucker Punch farm down with my Shadow Cacturn. I think they were at 100 energy there before they threw, so just one more bubble, and they reach another charge move here. Ice Beam, gonna grab my final shield, and they've got Shadow Diggersby in the back, and unfortunately, all shields are down, whilst Trailblaze does hit for super effective damage. They've still got a shield here. They can go straight for the Fire Punch, and Fire Punch is able to take out the Shadow Cacturn. They can quick attack, farm down the Moltres, and unfortunately, we do lose that game. But GG so far there into next battle, we see a Shadow Machamp in the lead. So this is sort of awkward for us. They will very easily outpace us to these charge moves, but we're going to go for a Poison Fang, and the opponent makes a catch onto Talonflame. And at this point, I'm already thinking like, oh, this is really not good for us. We're going to come in with the Moltres. I'm thinking there is no way they full send the Brave Bird, so I'm going to no shield. It is the Brave Bird. It gets the one shot. However, I should now be able to come in with my Shadow Cacturn and get the farm down, but honestly, it's not looking too good for us. We take one Incinerate, and they've got Wigglytuff in the back, so unfortunately, it's going to be game over. The opponent actually no shields the Trailblaze. Wait a minute. If they're not on Swift, then we would have been able to get the farm down there before they reach a charge move, but they are on Swift there, so they fire it off straight away. Swift gets the KO, and unfortunately, we do lose that game. But GG so far there into the next battle, we're going to see a Dunsparce in the lead. So this is okay-ish for us. What we're going to do is go straight for a Poison Fang here. Poison Fang is going to be no shielded, and they're going to farm two back-to-back charge moves. So I see that as an opportunity to catch the charge move here. I realize they're probably not going to go over back-to-back drill runs there, so they would just throw as they reach the second charge move there. And now I can still tank a Rock Slide. However, they're still going to outpace me to the next charge move. We do have a lot of energy. I realize I might as well just shield this, and the opponent comes in with a Shadow Feraligatr. So I'm not baiting. I'm going straight for the Brave Bird. Brave Bird grabs a shield from the Feraligatr, but they don't get that much farm as I do triple debuff my defense. Now, unfortunately, I'm still not going to be able to go for a full farm down here with the Shadow Cacturn, so I'm going to shield the first charge move. They go for a Hydro Cannon. I'm now going to swap out here into my Grafaiai, just force them to throw their energy, which they do. Hydro Cannon does get the KO there, but they've got a Drift Blimp in the back, and now things are suddenly looking more promising for us. We go straight for Trailblaze. Trailblaze grabs the final shield, and we're able to reach another Trailblaze in time. Trailblaze, of course, hitting for resisted damage, but from that range, it easily gets the KO. We can Sucker Punch, farm down the rest of the team, so the opponent just concedes the match there. So, GG so far there. Into next battle, we see a Talonflame in the lead. So, we're going to stay in this matchup here. I can't really afford to swap out because I do have Shadow Cacturn in the back. And if they throw straight away, this is actually fine with me. I'm going to shield the first charge move. Now, what I'm going to do is go for 3 more Mud Slaps, fire off a Poison Fang. And if they shield this, they might expect another Poison Fang to come through. So, what we're going to do now is full send the Sludge Bomb. Sludge Bomb, if this connects, we have debuffed their defense. It gets the KO there, but they come in with Superior. We swap out, and that's a huge mistake here. We come in with Galarian Moltres. I could have honestly just stayed in there, and unfortunately Aura Will easily going to get the one shot there. Galarian Moltres absolutely hopeless up against Morpeko, and unfortunately Shadow Cacturn is also going to be pretty hopeless here, as we are going to shield anyways, hoping we can go for a full Sucker Punch farm down, but they bait with a Psychic Fangs there, and unfortunately that will just barely allow them to reach another charge move, which is going to be an Aura Will. Aura Will easily gets the KO from that range. We come back in with Grafaiai just to be met with an Aerial Ace from this Superior, and unfortunately Aerial Ace takes us out and we do lose that game. But GG so up there. Into next battle, we see another Talonflame in the lead. So going to play this out exactly the same here. Not going to throw a charge move straight away. Wait for them to throw, but the opponent actually goes for the extra Incinerate, and they end up throwing on good timing as well, which means unfortunately I will not reach a Poison Fang and a Sludge Bomb before they do reach the next charge move. So what we're going to do, go for the Poison Fang. I realize they're probably just going to commit to a full Incinerate farm down though. So now we can go for the Sludge Bomb, but unfortunately they double shield their Talonflame, and suddenly things aren't looking too good for us here, as we're going to come in with Galarian Moltres. I'm going to no-shield the first charge move. They go for the fly, but unfortunately they have boosted up their attack, so that does huge damage. We're now going to no-shield this. The opponent goes for a Flame Charge, and again Shadow Cacturn takes 1 Incinerate, but they were double boosted. It does over half our HP, but they come in with Morpeko, and at this point it might be the exact same team. So we go straight for Trailblaze. It gets the one shot, and it is the same team. It's Superior in the back, but this time we're able to reach a boosted Dynamic Punch. Dynamic Punch is going to get the one shot up against Superior, and somehow I'm able to take that game. So, GG stuff on there. Into next battle, see Grafaiai into a Morpeko. So, this is fine with us. The opponent's going to say swap into a Goodra. I'm going to fire off a Poison Fang, and then I think I will eventually swap into my Galarian Moltres here, as I kind of just want to sacrifice it. We've seen already, it's useless up against Morpeko. So, they go for a Thunder Punch here. I'm committing to a full farm down. I'm hoping to get the farm down, but we just barely don't get it. So, that is a mistake here. I'm now going to lose switch advantage, as I didn't want to throw a charge move and then just be farmed down by the Morpeko. So, instead, we come in with Grafaiai again. They actually come in with Azumarill, and that's not that bad for me, except you're going to see this matchup just isn't great for us. We're, of course, hitting for neutral, non-stab Mud Slaps. In this matchup, I can reach back-to-back Poison Fangs, but these bubbles are seriously chunking. I'm forced to swap out here. They've got so much energy, and they will outpace me to back-to-back charge moves here. They fire off the Ice Beam. They're actually going to swap back into Morpeko, and unfortunately, Shadow Cacturn, whilst it does resist all the moves they can throw here, well, apart from, like, Outrage, we have to shield anyways because an Aura Will would just one-shot us anyways. We can now fire for Trailblaze here, but it doesn't matter. Azumarill does have a charge move pretty much loaded, just one bubble away. Of course, Ice Beam will be taking out the Cacturn, and from this range, just a single bubble takes out Grafaiai, and unfortunately, we do lose that game. But GG's into, GG's to that opponent there, and into the next team here. We're going to run Greninja in the lead, and then we've got double Poison in the back, both running Mud Slap. We're going to say swap into Grafaiai, and we are forced to shield a close combat there as it hits for neutral damage. It would definitely take us out there, but we grab a shield back instantly up against the Feraligatr, and at this point, I'm pretty happy to let Grafaiai go down. Hydro Cannon will be taking us out there, but that's okay. We can come in with Greninja, resist everything, and because we've debuffed their defense, I can only go, well, I can basically just go for a single Night Slash here, and that will be enough damage to get the KO. So I'm going to farm up to well over back-to-back charge moves here, fire off the Night Slash, and Night Slash will be enough damage to get the KO here. To come back in with Primeape, I'm just going to go straight for that Hydro Cannon, and it is the Primeape coming back in. So we go for Hydro Cannon, grab the final shield, we swap into our Grimer, and they've got Sand Slash in the back. So this is actually huge for us. Of course, we have Mud Slap, we also have Mud Bomb on this Grimer, so I can just shield that up, farm up to very close to back-to-back charge moves. The first Mud Bomb will be getting the KO, one more Mud Slap, and I reach a second Mud Bomb, and from this range, up against the Primeape, it will be enough damage to get the KO, and I'm able to take that game. So, GG's top in there, into the next battle, we see a Dugong in the lead. So this is a fairly neutral matchup for us here. We are going to farm up to 4 Water Shurikens, fire for Night Slash here, making sure they don't make a catch or anything like that. And we can actually go for another Night Slash straight away as the opponent over farms. Night Slash number 2 is going to connect. We don't get the boost here on either Night Slash, but the opponent is going to go for a drill run, not an Icy Wind. So a Night Slash from this range looks like it probably will get the KO. So we throw on the CMP tie. Night Slash does get the KO there, but they come in with Annihilate. So I'm going to swap into my Grafaiai, and I realize again they're just going to go straight for a Rage Fist, so I can no shield this. Rage Fist is going to be double resisted. We can now fire off a Poison Fang, which is also resisted, and the opponent also correctly does no shield this time. So at this point, we are going to wait out the switch lock here, come in with my Grimer. They are boosted, we do have to remember, but they swap out into their Dash Bun, and suddenly things are looking a lot better for us. But we're going to go straight for the Sludge Bomb here. Sludge Bomb is unfortunately shielded. I mean, they've got 2 shields. That probably was pretty obvious that they were going to shield there, but either way, we're now going to shield as they go for a Psychic Fangs here. They drop my defense, and now these charms are actually starting to chunk here. So what we're going to do is fire off the Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb is going to be shielded. I'm now going to swap, make the catch here, as I was pretty confident we'd win CMP there, but I honestly wasn't completely certain. So instead, we play it safe here. We then come in, we wait to see if they're going to throw another charm, which they do. So we go for the Mud Bomb there. They do have the charge move, but we've still got a shield remaining. So I can just go straight for the Mud Slap farm down, taking out Annihilate, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's top on there, into next battle, see a Shadow Quagsire in the lead. So this is definitely where we want to see it. I'm going to go straight for the Hydro Cannon here, probably going to grab a shield from the opponent. So maybe could have baited, but it doesn't really make a difference here. If I'm going to go for a Hydro Cannon the second time around, it still takes the same number of Water Shurikens. So again, just going to go straight for the Hydro Cannon here. They're probably going to double shield at this point, and they do double shield. But I realize even throwing on poor timing there, I will still reach another charge move on the potential CMP tie with another Aqua Tail, but the opponent swaps and catches onto their Drapion. So Drapion is going to take neutral damage there. It does a lot of damage. They do reach a charge move, which is a bit unfortunate, but it's just going to be an Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail doesn't do much damage, but they've got a Corviknight in the back. Now, I'll be honest here, the first few teams that I used were like really overcompensating for Corviknight. I was like really concerned that obviously Grafaiai gets completely walled by Corviknight, so I did build teams that were pretty strong against it, aside from the Grafaiai, and I saw literally 0 Corviknight in my first 10 sets, and then suddenly, when my teams were a little bit more weak to it, that's when it came out to play. I mean, I only saw 2 of them, so it's not like I saw loads of them at that point, but either way, a bit unfortunate for us. Not a lot we can do here up against the Corviknight. And they come back in with the Quagsire. I'm just going to no-shield this. It's game over. Aqua Tail takes us out there, and we do lose that game. But GG's up in there, into the next battle, we see another Shadow Drapion in the lead. They're going to say swap into Primeape, so I'm going to come in with my Grimer. So, of course, I'm going to no-shield the first charge move. As they go for a Rage Fist, that's absolutely fine. I can now go for a Mud Bomb and then go, a Mud Slap, and then go straight for the Mud Bomb here, grabbing the shield back from the opponent. And now I realize at this point, I can only maintain alignment here if I double shield, but I'm absolutely happy to do so, because if I do double shield, if I get the full farm down, I'm going to come out with near enough back-to-back charge moves loaded for the Drapion. If the Drapion does come back in, so let's see, the opponent is going to come in with Annihilate instead, which is fine with me. We're going to fire off the Mud Bomb here. Mud Bomb number 1 is going to be no-shielded. If I grab a shield here, I'm then just going to swap straight away into my Greninja, and the opponent is going to stay in with Annihilate, allowing me to reach a Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon gets the KO there, and that should be game over. They come back in with the Drapion. All the charge moves, or at least the typical charge moves, are resisted. We go for the Hydro Cannon there. We are going to be able to go for a full Water Shuriken farm down. They don't bother throwing a charge move there, as I realize it's game over, and they concede the match. So GG's up in there into next battle, another Shadow Drapion in the lead, and again a safe swap into Primeape. So we're going to come in with the Grimer, and we are going to let this move go through here. The opponent fires off the Rage Fist, but they will actually make it to another charge move before I throw my move. So I'm going to shield now. That's still absolutely fine with me. We're going to fire off the Mud Bomb here, and Mud Bomb should be shielded by the opponent. Actually, no, they don't shield that, so they're going to save a shield. That's still fine with me. They come back in with the Shadow Drapion. We can go straight for a Mud Bomb here. Mud Bomb is going to be no shielded, so they're putting their faith into their final Pokemon. We are, of course, going to let this move go through. Aqua Tail does get the KO. We come in with Grafaiai here, as I realized they were going to swap out straight away, and it's actually the exact same team, so maybe even the same opponent. I actually didn't check this, but either way, we're going to grab a shield there. We swap back into Greninja, and because we've debuffed their defense, I should just be able to go for back-to-back Night Sashes here. So we're going to go for the first Night Sash. Night Sash should be grabbing the final shield from the opponent. It does grab the final shield, but we can go for another Night Sash here. Night Sash number 2 is going to get the KO. However, unfortunately, we put ourselves into perfect farm down range for the Shadow Drapion to come out with a Crunch loaded, and Crunch will be enough to take out Grafaiai, and unfortunately, we do lose that game. If we did get damage registration error there, we could have, of course, gone for a charge move up against that Drapion, but we weren't lucky enough to get it there. But either way, GG's to opponent there. Into next battle, we see a Ferrothorn in the lead, so not great for us. We're going to say swap into Grafaiai, and again, grabbing a shield, just because the opponent probably doesn't have a clue what this Pokemon is, what moves it learns, so just playing it safe, and that's absolutely fine with me. At this point, we're going to come in with the Greninja. I realize this is probably just going to be a bait here, but I shield anyways. I preserve the health. I can now farm up throw on the CMP tie with the next Hydro Cannon. Night Sash is going to get the KO there, and we can go for another Night Sash straight away, and then I will be swapping into my Grimer. Night Sash is going to be no shielded. We swap into the Grimer, and at this point I'm going to no shield the first charge move. It's probably going to be a Thunder. It is the Thunder. It does some decent damage there, but they're going to stay in with the Ferrothorn, so I'm going to throw a charge move here just before they reach the next charge move, and they actually no shield that. They come in with a Primeape, and we're going straight for a Mud Bomb here. So Mud Bomb is going to be no shielded by the opponent. I realize my win condition here is now going for a full fast move beatdown. We are going to see a Rage Fist coming through. We swap into Greninja, catch the charge move, but depending on how much damage this does, this could be very awkward for us. But luckily for me this time, it is a simultaneous KO. I'm able to take out the Primeape. I still had the Grimer in the back, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's up in there. Into next battle, we see another Dugong in the lead. So once again, gonna fire off after 4 Water Shurikens. Fire off the Night Sash here. Night Sash is gonna be no shielded. We actually get the boost this time around, which honestly doesn't make a difference here because I'm still gonna need 2 more Night Sashes to get the KO. However, it's kind of nice to see that the boost does still work. I think this was the only time I got a boost with my Greninja. We go for another Night Sash here, and we throw on the CMP tie. So Night Sash number 3 is gonna be no shielded. I'm now gonna swap into my Grimer, and the opponent comes in with a Dunsparce. Now, I realize I can tank 1 Drill Run here, so we're going to no-shield the charge move. They go for the Drill Run. I'm now going to overfarm, throw a Sludge Bomb on the potential CMP tie, and I think the opponent actually lags here because they didn't get an extra rollout through, but that was not a CMP tie, so honestly, that threw me off a little bit. We're going to go and fire off the Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb, unfortunately, not going to do anywhere near as much damage as the Sludge Bomb there. And they do have quite a lot of energy, so we're going to come in with Grafaiai, go for 1 Mud Slap, then catch the charge move onto Greninja as they fire off the Drill Run there. We can now come back in with a Grafaiai, and I'm going to shield this up here. Honestly, I think I should be able to Mud Slap, farm them down, but they swap back into Shadow Jump off. So we're going straight for Poison Fang. Poison Fang is going to be no-shielded by the opponent. Honestly, maybe I should have overfarmed there, but they probably realized they could live any 1 charge move anyway, so it doesn't make a difference. Unfortunately, these Mud Slaps are triple resisted where, yeah, this is not actually that ideal for us, but we're going to shield up the Aerial Ace. We're now going to fire off another Poison Fang. Since we have debuffed their defense, this will be enough damage to get the KO, and they actually no-shield that, but the opponent does reach a last-second charge move there. We needed 1 more Mud Slap to get the KO, but Drill Run takes out Grafaiai, and unfortunately, we do lose that game. But GG's up in there. Into next battle, we see Morpeko in the lead. So this is a pretty awkward matchup for us. Definitely just going to swap out of that matchup there. And we're going to swap into Grafaiai, and we're met with a Goodra. So we go straight for Poison Fang. Poison Fang is going to be shielded. I realize I can shield here, and I should be able to grab all shields from my opponent, or maybe just get switch advantage, but either way, I think I'd probably prefer to get all shields down, and we do. We grab the final shield there. We can now come in with our Grimer. If I come in with Greninja, they can go for a Thunder Punch. That's going to do a lot of damage, and it's a very awkward farm down, but I can just no shield this. It's not going to be a Draco Meteor, so it's just a Thunder Punch. We still get the full Mud Slap farm down, and the opponent's going to come in with a Talonflame. They actually waited to see me swap out here, but it just doesn't matter. We've still got a shield. They full send the Aura Wheel there. I can overfarm. I actually don't need to overfarm in this matchup, but either way, we're going to go straight for a Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon gets the KO there, and I can go for 3 more Water Shurikens, throwing on good timing, fire off the Hydro Cannon, and Hydro Cannon will be enough to take out the Talonflame, and I'm able to take that game. So GG to open there into possibly the final battle of this video. Another Corviknight in the lead this time around, so definitely where we want to see it, but still not that great for Greninja. We're going to go straight for the Hydro Cannon here. Hydro Cannon is going to be no-shielded, and it looks like maybe I can get away with going for a Night Slash the second time around. So I'm going to shoot up the Sky Attack there. The opponent does full send it instead of baiting with an Iron Head. We're now going to go for the Night Slash. Night Slash is going to be no-shielded, and the Water Shuriken actually puts them at 1 HP, and they reach a last-second charge move. It's just going to be an Iron Head, so they do actually, well, they don't take us out there, but they've got a Shadow Kanto Marowak in the back, and that's going to be game over. We've got 2 Pokemon weak to Mud Slap. There's just not a lot we can do here. I'm hoping I can shield this, and the opponent will shield the next charge move as well. So we're going to go for a Poison Fang here at the last possible second. Poison Fang is going to be no-shielded by the opponent. It just doesn't really matter. Even though we do land the charge move, it's just not going to be enough damage. They can go straight for a Bone Club. Bone Club will not be enough damage to get the KO. However, they can just commit to a full Mud Slap farm down. I tried to snipe with a Water Shuriken, but it doesn't work. They still get the full farm down there, and unfortunately, we do lose that game. But GG to opponent there, I guess into the actual final battle of this video. We're going to lead into a Diggersby, and the opponent save swaps into a Azumarill. So I actually come in with my Grimer here just because I can tank an Ice Beam fairly comfortably. On Grafaiai, honestly, it's not very comfortable at all. And honestly, if they land an Ice Beam, they can definitely flip that matchup. So instead, we come in with the Grimer. We're going to go straight for Sludge Bomb. And unfortunately, because Sludge Bomb does cost more energy, they will win the zero shield scenario. So I'm forced to shield this, but I can go for a full Mud Slap farm down there, coming out with back-to-back Mud Bombs loaded. So let's see, the opponent's going to come back in with the Diggersby. Absolutely fine here. We can fire off back-to-back Mud Bombs. The first one, going to be no-shielded. I assume the second one will be no-shielded as well. And Mud Bomb number 2 does get them into the yellow health range. Now the opponent's going to go and fire off a charge move straight away. I'm going to no-shield this. The opponent goes for Scorching Sands there, and they swap into a Wigglytuff. So running Diggersby and Double Fairy, but not Double Charm, just the single Charm user in, of course, Wigglytuff. We can now go for a Poison Fang here. Poison Fang is going to be shielded, and I realize we've got back-to-back charge moves here on my Greninja already. All we have to do is make sure we don't throw on the CMP tie with the Diggersby on that first charge move, and we should have this game won. So we go straight for Poison Fang, number 2 there. We can fire off another charge move. I'm going to throw here. I'm going to swap out straight away. If the opponent's smart, they would throw immediately here, but they don't throw straight away. And as a result, we're able to swap out there, go for Hydro Cannon. We can now throw on the CMP tile, which of course Greninja does win. And Hydro Cannon, number 2, gets the KO there. And I'm able to take that game. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. And if you want to take your support even further, you can now become a channel member with perks including early access to new videos, shoutouts at the end of each video, custom loyalty badges, and custom emojis to use in the comments. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone that has already become a channel member. Your support is greatly appreciated, and with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.